In this video, we'll explore the cost recovery clause, including an in-depth look at how we manage fees to ensure transparency and fairness in every step of the process. Let's begin by defining what debt actually means. Debt is the unpaid amount one party owes another, typically from a contract where the debtor hasn't paid the creditor on time. Now, let's take a look at our debt recovery process. First is debt referral, where clients provide contracts or credit application, debtor details and debt value, or optionally submit original invoices and statements. Second is review and load. Our team conducts a thorough review of the submitted information. Debt details are loaded into our advanced system for effective management. We will also provide a free client portal for clients with multiple debt referrals. They can track progress and collaborate seamlessly for enhanced transparency during recovery. Third is recovery kickoff. Initially, we will utilize automated workflows for systematic debt recovery, employing a multi-channel approach with automated emails and SMS for consistent communication. While our dedicated debt recovery team actively manages the process by making calls and sending emails, all while ensuring compliance with ACCC regulations on allowed contact attempts. Fourth is client communication. Clients receive consistent updates from a designated collections manager who promptly addresses any disputes raised by debtors and efficiently handles requests for evidence of debts or claims of direct payment. Fifth is refund process. Payments made to Bluechip collections are promptly refunded to clients. Choose from weekly, fortnightly, or monthly refund cycles based on client preference. Number 6 is client options. Clients receive consistent updates from a designated collections manager who promptly addresses disputes and manages requests for debt evidence or direct payment claims. But what exactly is a cost recovery clause? In the event that the debtor fails to make payment when due, the debtor agrees to pay any and all reasonable collection fees incurred by the creditor as outlined in the terms and conditions. This cost recovery clause shall be deemed accepted and enforceable only when agreed upon in writing as part of this contract. Now, let's go through a quick debt sample calculation. Suppose we have a collectible debt of $100,000 and the advertised rate is 35%. To find the total balance due, we calculate 35% of $100,000, which comes out to $35,000. Adding that to the original debt gives us a total of $135,000. Pretty straightforward. So now, I'd like to share a little explanation about how debt collection works in Australia. As it's common for collection fees to be added to the outstanding debt, based on an agreement between the client and the debtor. Here's the breakdown. First is, why do we recover collection fees? We aim to recover these fees because they are part of the debtor's obligation to the client. Essentially, these fees help cover the costs we incur while trying to collect the debt. Second is, whose fees are these? It's important to clarify that these fees aren't ours, they actually belong to the client or the creditors. The debtor agreed to pay these fees as part of the original agreement when they took on the debt. And lastly, what is the agreement aspect? It is when the debtor and creditor made their agreement, it included the possibility of collection fees if the debt was handed over to a third party for collection. So, the debtor agreed to this condition right from the start. In short, we're recovering the collection fees on behalf of the client because they are part of what the debtor committed to in their prior agreement. Let's take a moment to walk through the process of debt collection as handled by Bluechip. This flowchart outlines the steps involved, highlighting how a debt is collected and the roles of both the debtor and the client. Here's how it works. This is the starting point, indicating the debtor owes money to the client. Then, the client contacts Bluechip to handle the collection. Bluechip then checks the contract between the debtor and the client to confirm whether the debtor has agreed to pay additional fees. Once we confirm from the contract that the debtor has agreed to cover any incurred fees, Bluechip begins collecting the debt amount from the debtor. Next, Bluechip charges the client for the commission and any GST on the debt collection as the client is responsible for paying Bluechip's fees as per the agreement. Then, Bluechip attempts to recover the collection fees on behalf of the client from the debtor. Lastly, the total amount, including the fees, is returned to the client. This flowchart outlines the process, showing how Bluechip collects debts, charges the client, and attempts to recover the full fees on the client's behalf from the debtor.